Welcome back, Bob the Vape Computer Guy. Today we're taking a look at an RDA, the Nada. So today we're taking a look at the Nada RDA from VapnFagan and TigerTek. Let's dive down to the table, show it to you up close, give you the specs, and I'll tell you what I think about it. Alright, today we're taking a look at the Nada from VapnFagan, and TigerTek sheer vaping enjoyment. Well, we'll talk about that when we go back up on top, but for now let's take a look at it. So, the Nada. Alright, across the top you have what Nada stands for, not another dripping atomizer. But it is another dripping atomizer, but I understand, that's, you know. Anyway, Nada RDA, TigerTek, designed by VapnFagan. Alright, you got his logo over there. You can see your 510. It comes with the squonking pin already in there. Alright, and in my opinion, that's where this thing shines. You do have this gnarling type 810 adapter on 810 drip tip on top. You do also get a straight, clear drip tip. Alright, take a look how that looks on there. Alright, either one works good. I do like both of them on there. You do have, and I have this upside down. Look at that. I just cleaned this out. That's how it's supposed to look. There you go. You do have side high airflow on here. It is adjustable. I don't know if that'll come through on here. We can try and zoom in a little bit. It is a little hard to see. But there you go. There's your airflow on there. And as you start to turn this, you'll see you'll close off 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have a lot of granular control over which ones you want open. Whatever you do on one side applies to the other. You also do have bottom airflow, which we'll show you when we open it up. But here is close-up look of what it looks like on the side. I do like the look of it. This is engraved into it, into the metal on the side. All right, when you pop off your top, this piece feels pretty substantial. You know, normally this type of top cap is very light, but this is very thick and decently heavy. When you go feel it like this, you can feel the weight to this thing. This is very heavy, which helps in heat dissipation. All right. Might be a little wet. I just washed it out. There is my build that's in there. Let's take off this side. All right, when you pull off your side cap here, focus. All right, that's not extremely heavy or thick or anything, but that's fine. So your deck in here, as you can see, you have, aside from the side airflow that I showed you before, which is pretty high, which is what I do like. I do like high side airflow. Okay, right at the level of the coils. You also have bottom airflow in here. All right, you do have airflow here. All right, you do have airflow here and here on both sides. That airflow will go through this tube and come up directly under your coil. Now, you can see in there's a screw. I have the screw in there which completely seals that off. All right, you can replace those screws with some others. And your choices are the screw that completely seals it off or one of these two other screws. All right, so you can replace, you can leave it completely open to have full airflow. You can use that first one, cut down a little bit. This other one cuts it down a lot, or you can put in the screw that completely seals it off. The flavor is better with some bottom airflow, but I am using it for squonking, and when using it for squonking, closing that off, you can still squonk on it, but you might get some, you know, if your juice comes up out of there and gets too high, it will go down into these tubes. Now, it is pretty deep in here, so you can squonk with those open and still have it be pretty good, but if you seal them off, you can squonk, you know, to your heart's content and never have a problem. Pretty good juice well. You can see in the side here, when your wickings come down, you can tuck them down into here. All right, or you can just tuck them down, leave them go into the middle a little bit. You got a lot of options on where you can put your wicking. There's plenty of space in here, no problems. The coils, you probably could get them a little lower, but these are working out perfectly for me. You also do get replacement of the grub screws, as you can see on my desk right here. All right, you get replacement grub screws, you get the screws to seal off in the middle, and you get your O-rings. All right, so nice big deck, easy to build on. Like I said, only thing is you will have to take these coils out when you want to change those screws. All right, go ahead and put your top cap back on here with your airflow lined up with the coils. And one thing to watch, make sure when you go to build your coils, you can see in here, make sure you're putting one in the positive post and one in the negative. If you don't look at it carefully and you put your coil this way, that's not going to work. If you notice this bottom piece here, that is your positive pin, okay? Your center is always your positive pin, and that's coming over to this side. So these two posts are your positive posts. and these two are negative because they're going into the actual base. So make sure you're going from a post that is connected to the center pin to the other one. Putting your coils this way and this way will not work, and you know, if you're new to building, you may not catch that right away. So make sure to pay attention to that. All right, go ahead and throw this back on this way with the side high airflow. All right, throw our top back on. You can have full open airflow like that. But right now I have that sealed off. And there you go. That is the Not Another Dripping Atomizer. Let's give you some specs on it, and then we'll go back up and talk about it. All right, so let's start off by saying I really like it. It's solid. You know, it's got some weight to it, which I like. Makes me feel like it's well made. You got the airflow in the bottom, and you got side airflow. You have the option of using one or the other, or a combination of the two. I do like that. I've been using it mainly for squonking. Now, well, let me take a vape, and then I'll tell you some pros and cons. All right, I've been using it on the Pulse BF box. I currently have the bottom airflow sealed off, and this is the way I'm liking it the best. Now, if you don't have that sealed off, if you have airflow coming through the bottom and the side, the flavor is the best that way. Getting that bottom airflow does improve the flavor slightly, but using it for squonking, kind of like the Dead Rabbit, which is my favorite squonking RDA because of the high side airflow, you get no leaking. That's the way I like using this. I close off the bottom with the screws that seal the bottom airflow, and I'm using only the side airflow. And you can squonk the heck out of this thing, and you're not going to leak. You're not going to have any problems because there's no tubes for it to go back down. If you squonk gently, you can leave those bottom airflows open, squonk a little bit, and no problem, and you won't get leaking. But if you like to just go about your business and not have to think about how hard you're squonking and just press and squeeze away and then take a vape, you know, then you want to close off that bottom airflow. All right, and that's the way I've been using it. It's a little bit reduction in the flavor, but I'm willing to put up with that for the convenience. And I wish I didn't have to, but there's no way around it. If you want to have it where you can just squonk and you're not going to ever leak and nothing's going to come out those bottom holes there, the only way to do that is to close off those bottom airflow holes. I like the solidness of it. I like how easily with the side airflow you can have 1, 2, 3 or 4 holes open on both sides. Of course, whatever you do on one side applies to the other. I do like that a lot, and for me, it's just wonderful with this high side airflow. Again, similar to the Dead Rabbit, and that's why I like it. So it's great for squonking for that. I like that you get the 2 drip tips with it. I'm not so sure if I like that big writing across the top saying the name of it, but you know, for a lot of people that bothers you. I know a lot of people get bothered by the aesthetics of things like that. I really don't care. I'm not looking at it going, ooh, I don't like that. You know, I'm vaping on it, and I want it to vape good, and to, for me, function over form. And in that case, it is working beautiful. The only downside is to this thing that if you want to change, and there was really, I guess, no other way to do it, you know, by how it had to be designed to have all these options of only bottom, only side, or both, or whatever, is if you want to change that bottom airflow, you do have to take out the coils to change that pin that's in there, okay? There's no way around that. The only other way I could think of that they could have done that was to actually put those screws in the side and the bottom there. And I know the lighting's bad in here, okay? But by the way, I have new lighting coming. So while I got 2 big studio lights there, I have new ones coming that should do a much better job. Anyway, yeah, I mean, they could have put the holes, you know, the screw holes right there and made it where you could put those things in there, but a lot of people probably wouldn't like that. So that is the only downside, is that you do have to take out your coils if you want to change that airflow. But you play around with it. Once you find the airflow that works best for you, you put those screws in there, take out the screws, seal it up with the sealings, you know, with the full screws that don't have any airflow, do whatever you want, and then just enjoy it and vape on it. So it might take a little time in the beginning for you to play around with it and get exactly the kind of vape that you want out of it. But then after that, it's rock solid and it's working great. I do like the black and the silver. I think it goes good together. Heat dissipation. I haven't had any real problems with heat. I mean, I vape here, and I'm vaping this at 75. I usually vape it at 80 watts, and I'll chain vape because I'm only on 0.5 milligrams nicotine. So I'll chain vape it back to back to back to back to back, and it might get a little hot. To be honest, I think the Dead Rabbit probably gets hotter than this does sometimes because chain vaping, because this is just a thicker material. It just can handle more heat, but it's really not a problem. Everything else about it is good. No complaints, no problems. Once you seal off that bottom airflow, it is wonderful for squonking, and I like it. So I'm going to take another vape, and there you go. That's the review of the Nada. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.